Sup, fellas? It's been a hot second since both I've streamed and since we've done a fucking solo stream. Like, holy shit. I think last time was like CS2, 3, 4 months ago. Something ridiculous like that. Anyway, this one's not going to be too long, I don't think. Like hour or two tops, right? But yeah, not much to say. Just as a general update to what's been going on, you know? Focusing on YouTube, but not really because it's finals right now and I kind of want to die. But I mean, other than that, you know, hopefully some more streams here, right? In the coming months or two, in addition to keeping up with YouTube content, right? Other than streams, of course. This is probably just going to be a stream thing though. And I'm just going to like keep it up there, right? Anyway, this is Sorcery. I realize this is effectively just going to be a recording, just saved onto YouTube. Haha, fuck you, YouTube. You know, you get to store whatever I decide to put out for free. As opposed to it cluttering up my already cluttered up computer. Either way. So Steve Jackson Sorcery, right? Brilliant narrative game, right? I've been hungering for like this kind of like a medieval narrative game stuff like for like the past month since I started playing some Baldur's Gate, right? So this will satiate me for the time being. But I've wanted to play it for a solid minute now. I literally bought it back in August, intending on playing it on stream, and then I just never did. As is the cycle with me buying games. But you know how it is. Anyway, let's start. There's likely going to be audio issues. I already know this fact. I don't know if something's supposed to be playing right now, but I guess not. I'm assuming I'm a be. What the fuck just happened? Jesus Christ, why is it so loud? Apologies for the jump scare, fellas. We're like missing lore here. Wait, what? You've survived traps, thieves. Oh, hold on, gamers. We might be in the wrong game. Give me Jesus Christ. Just showing off my background at this point. God damn it, dude. Hold on. That's about right. Never a smooth game. Never a smooth experience here on this channel. Never a planned out experience. I literally just like made sure. I tried to like I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure this is how this game works. Okay, no, I think we're chilling now. I think we're chilling. Okay. I should have checked the audio first. I wish they had something in the back. Or unlock new game plus. No new game plus. We're just some fella. Is it gonna show up? Now it's just a dark screen. That's fire, man. All right, here we go. Maybe. All right. we're chilling. All right. Anyway, you have walked into the wilds of Kakhabad, through Care and the spiteful Balklands, all the way to the Mampang. You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods. And now it is here. The crown of kings. It is said the crown was never forged, only found. The Chalana, the Reformer, or by Chalana the Reformer, a lowly soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. Let us wait. We won't take it. The crown sits unguarded on a pedestal of light. After so many hardships, can it really be so simple? Or is this yet another deception? Sure enough, as soon as you think about it, the image of the crown appears to flicker. You turn around to see something approaching. It's a trap! And startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted, in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. Continue. Inkle presents. Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Let's go, gamers. Part 1. The Mutanti Hills? Mutanti? Mutanti? Whatever. Alright. Click your character to continue. Okay. 20 out of 20 stamina, 0 gold, 0 rations. Panther. I haven't the faintest of idea what that means. Let's click on my character. It is sunrise. You dress. Breakfast on bread and goat's milk. And just making sure I'm reading that right. All right. Anyway. Starting over. Rewind. It is sunrise. You dressed, breakfast on bread and goat's milk, and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. Pray for luck. Before you leave, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning, it has the form of a panther. But what will it become once your journey truly begins? A great calm descends on you. Outside the hut, you hear an outpost settlement stirring to life. Test the blade. You pause to test the blade of your sword against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. I think we're ready, gamers. Let's go. Time, then, to depart. You lift back the flap of your hut and step into the early morning sunshine. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamutani wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. I'll greet them. You turn to them and bow. Some smile in reply, others are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the wall, so they believe you to be cursed. A man is waiting at you. A man is waiting on the path to the Cantopani Gate, the final doorway between the Analand and the wilds of the Kahabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sightmaster warriors. He holds out his hand. That man is dripped out. Look at him. Why all the eyes? The eyes, the faces. Ooh, that's actually fire. Greetings, Sergeant. He touches his forehead with 2 fingers. You are almost ready, he says. I have a gift for you, a gift from the king. 24 gold pieces. It's all we can spare this time. He holds out a pouch. It's all we can spare. I will take half. Nah, let's not be stingy. This is what they're offering to us, okay? Like, what do I do? Refuse it? Just be a total nah, I don't need your charity. We'll take it in its entirety. You accept the gift graciously. Thank you. You should buy some supplies before you pass the wall, the sergeant says, and you must collect your spellbook if you wish magic to aid you. Finally, should you wish to practice your swords play, I will go one last round with you. He points with his staff towards the training ground. Spellbook. One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from its doorway. This is the hut of the chief mage. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in different locations in the hills and beyond. Do without the book in a game named Sorcery. Okay. Not going to happen. We're going inside to get it. You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. Do you understand how to use this? He asks. Tell me. Each spell is crafted through the alignment of 3 stars, he begins. The spell, Zap, for example, is made by aligning Zaruth. Fuck. We're running into problems already. Zaruthsra, Aegeus, and Pini. But that is not important. What matters is what the spell is called and what it does. Zap will give you control over lightning. Hot will create a fireball. Thoth will create a force field around you. Shall I continue? Tell me more. The mage nods. The law spell is formed by Lilith, Aegeus, and Wax, and will allow you to control the will of unintelligent creatures. The Wall spell is quite different and uses different stars. The order matters, you see. Wall creates an invisible barrier. You will find the rest in the book, he adds, tapping the leather-bound volume. Thank you. He scratches absently at his ear. Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will not work without a focus, an item of a kind. You will need to read the book to know what you want. Research magic using the spellbook button on the map. Okay. Let's do some of that right now. Just to check. All right. This volume contains 48 spells of the high craft as discovered and passed down from generation to generation of sorcerers from the earliest days of the Eastern world. Each spell is formed of 3 letters, and each spell will take some energy to cast. Furthermore, some spells will fail without the use of a particular item or focus. The 6 most useful spells. If you learn only 6 spells for your adventure, learn these. Zap, which creates a lightning bolt. Thoth creates a protective force field. Law enables non-intelligent creatures to be controlled. Dumb makes creatures extremely clumsy. Yeah, I was on that shit tonight. Hot creates a fireball which can be aimed at enemies, and Wall creates an invisible wall. All of these spells are extremely tiring and will cost you 3 points of stamina. More economical versions exist, though some rely on the caster owning particular items of power. Okay. big. Yo. When this spell is cast on the caster's own body, it will inflate the body to 3 times the normal size. This increases the power of the caster and is especially useful against large opponents, but must be used with caution in confined spaces. Walk requires 1 gold piece. This spell requires 1 gold coin, which is placed on the caster's wrist. When the spell is cast, it will transform into an invisible metal shield, but the coin will be lost. Okay. Raz requires beeswax to perform. The spell beeswax is required by rubbing the wax on any bladed weapon or casting the. By rubbing the wax on any bladed weapon and casting this spell, the blade will become razor sharp and will do at least double its normal damage. Okay. Raz might be useful. Dop. This spell can be used to open any locked doors. Neato. I don't even think I need to read the rest. Fuck it, let's do it. Casting this spell works directly on the lock tumblers, and the door may be opened freely. If the door is bolted from the inside, the bolts will be undone. This spell does not work on doors sealed by magic. Okay. Sus. No. Okay. The sus spell. This spell may be cast when the caster suspects a trap and will indicate telepathically to the caster any danger and is the best protective action. If already trapped, this spell may be used to minimize the effects in certain cases. 6 is a duplication spell, basically, like illusion duplication. Jig requires a bamboo flute. When cast, the recipient will get an uncontrollable urge to dance. That's fire, dude. Gob. This creation spell requires any number of teeth of goblins. The spell must be cast onto these teeth to create 1, 2, or an army of goblins who may be commanded to fight an enemy or perform other duties. Yob. Giant's tooth, okay. Gum. Casting this spell on a vial of glue will cause the glue to become super sticky, sufficient to stick creatures to the floor or to walls, or by throwing the vial at the creature's feet, or by resting it on top of a door so that if it falls... Wait. Oh, I see. The good old bucket trap. Okay. How? This spell is to be used in perilous situations when information about the safest way of escape is desired. The caster will receive a psychic inclination towards one route or a means of defense if one is present. Dock. Medicinal potions will, when this spell is active, heal any creature who drinks them. The potions may not be used by the caster, or may be used by the caster, but will not bring a being that has actually died back to life. Dawes. The spell may be cast upon any creature, reducing its movements and reactions to about a sixth of its normal speed. Thus, the creature appears to move in a dream sequence, making it much easier to evade or defeat. Dud. By casting this spell, the caster can create an illusion of treasure. Gold pieces, silver coins, gems, and jewels will be created at will and used to distract, pay, or bribe creatures. Illusionary riches will disappear soon after the caster is out of sight. Okay. Mag. This spell protects the caster from most magic. It must be cast quickly and works by neutralizing the attacking spell. This spell is thus a very powerful protective weapon. Pop requires a pebble, a potent little spell, but one which calls for great mental concentration. This spell must be cast on small pebbles, which will then explode when thrown. These explosions produce great force, as well as a loud bang. Foul. This spell is useful if the caster is caught in a pit, trap, or falls from a considerable height. When cast, the caster's body is as light as a feather. The caster will float down through the air and gently land on the ground. Costs 1 stamina. Dim. A good defensive weapon. This can be cast at any attacking creature to muddle its mind. However, it must be handled with caution, as a deranged creature may act unpredictably. Fog, and it's just like blacked out. Okay, that's kind of neat. This spell may only be cast in a closed room with no windows. Once cast, the room turns pitch black in the eyes of all but the caster, even though torches and candles may still be burning. Therefore, nearby creatures will be temporarily blinded. Mud requires sand. Creates a pool of quicksand. Okay, cool. Nif. This spell causes the air to fill with a nauseating stench so vile that any creature catching a whiff will need to vomit. This includes the caster unless they are wearing protective nose plugs. The effect is more pronounced on creatures with large noses, so it requires nose plugs. Tell requires a skull cap. To activate the spell, the caster must wear a cloth skull cap. The user may then read the mind of any intelligent creature nearby, learning its weaknesses and the contents of nearby rooms and other details. Gak requires a black face mask. Casting this spell while wearing a black face mask will create a terrible fear within the mind of another. Brave creatures will suffer a cold sweat, while cowardly ones will be reduced. Cowardly ones will be reduced to cowering jelly. Sap. The effect of this spell, which is only useful in combat, is to demoralize an opponent so that his will to win is lost. Any creature so demoralized will be easier to defeat, though victory is still not certain. God. I'm reading that right. There's a spell called God. Okay. Requires a jewel of gold. When this spell is cast, any creature or humans nearby will take an immediate liking to the caster and will offer aid and information. This illusion spell can only be performed when the caster is wearing a jewel of gold. A gold-backed mirror with the spell Kin. In battle, a gold-backed mirror must be pointed at a creature when the spell is cast. An exact replica of the enemy will then be created under the caster's control. However, should either creature die, both will disappear. Pep. Requires fire water. A potion of fire water taken while casting this spell will give the caster double or triple their normal strength. The effects are temporary, but usually last long enough to aid in battle or enable some feat of super strength. Is that Gilgamesh? In the Peep illustration? It's kind of fire. It's not actually, but I like to think, I see a man with a immaculately long beard that's in a vaguely like square shape, and I'm like, that's Gilgamesh for sure, man. Rock requires stone dust. Special stone dust must be thrown at a creature as this spell is being cast. Within seconds, the intended victim will petrify, quickly becoming a gray stone statue. Nip. The caster must use this spell on his or her own body. The caster will then become exceedingly quick and may run, speak, think, or fight at 3 times its normal speed. However, this spell requires the caster to sniff yellow powder before casting. Huff. This spell is cast on a gale horn, a trumpet-like instrument with a discordant note, causing the horn to create a tremendous wind. The wind is capable of blowing over man-sized creatures, but can also blow over things like shelves. Or it can also blow over things off shelves, over ledges, and the like. Jesus Christ, my reading comprehension sucks right now. Fix requires a staff of an oak. Requires a staff of oak. Staff? Stave? A staff of oak sapling. I think it's supposed to be stave, but we'll do staff of oak sapling. It says staff, but I don't know. Anyway, applicable to both animate and inanimate objects. This spell has an effect of holding an opponent or object in one place, even in mid-air, until the caster leaves the vicinity. A staff of oak sapling is required. All right, we're not going to go through all the spells. We'll finish off this page, though. Nap. Requires a brass pendulum. Effective only against living creatures. This spell causes them to quickly fall asleep. It is used in conjunction with a brass pendulum. The spell concentrates the creature's attention on the pendulum, which the caster must swing slowly to and fro. Zen. Requires a jewel-studded medallion. In order to cast this spell, the caster must wear a jewel-studded medallion around his neck. Casting the spell will then allow the caster to float in the air. A magician may hover for as long as desired and may float around at will. Okay, we're done. We're done reading this. We're done reading this. Let's buy some rations, man. We'll do some more investigation at a later date. Right now, though, I don't want to be sitting here for like... How long has it already been? It's already been 30 minutes somehow. And I'm pretty sure the vast majority of that is just reading the spell book. We had a little bit of a minor fumble, but... Anyway. Small traders in the settlement supply the site master warriors with weapons, armor, food, and clothing. You go over with the sergeant to a stall selling flatbreads and cheese. 2 gold pieces per ration, the owner says. It's haggle. Do you know who I am? I am Analan's great hero, you tell him. The man looks uncomfortable. I know that, but I have to feed my family today, whatever happens to the crown. 2 gold pieces per ration. You check your pack, there's plenty of room inside. Take 4. 4 rations is 8 gold pieces, the man says, holding out a hand. I'll buy them. You hand over your coins, and the man places 4 rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure to eat every other day, or you must be sure... Jesus Christ. You must be sure you eat every other day, or you will suffer, the sergeant tells you, standing at your side. Eating more will give you extra strength, but it is not necessary. Okay. To the training ground. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground, and he wraps the base of his staff in leather. Ready, my sword. To begin, the sergeant says, we will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. Choose your attack power by dragging your character sideways. To defend, stay fully left. Okay. Defend. The Sight Master is a powerful enemy. By defending, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Sight Master Sergeant defends himself as well. The round is a stalemate. My next attack will be one of my strongest, he declares. If you can perform a full attack, you may overpower me, but otherwise, you had best defend yourself. For a strong attack, pull your character to the right. To defend, pull your character to the left. I'll attack. Charge! You place strong attack, overpowering the Sightmaster Sergeant. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. No stamina lost. Flawless fighting. You seem to remember the basics, the sergeant says. breathlessly. Good. Another round? Let's train again. You nod. Ready your guard. I'm gonna defend. Sightmaster is a powerful enemy. You'll receive the minimum damage, yada yada yada. The round is a stalemate as the sergeant defends himself as well. I will now defend myself. Whatever attack you play will damage me, but a strong attack will use up more power. You should choose a weak attack. Okay. Let me do a jab. You swing with a weak attack, rushing for the Sightmaster Sergeant, who is defending. Good choice. A stronger attack would have wasted more of your power. I will defend myself again, he says. Sideswipe. You play a low attack, overpowering the Sightmaster Sergeant once again, who raises his defense. You played carefully and won that round. Well done. He raises his defense, but says nothing. I'm gonna go sicko mode. Cut. Uh-oh. You make a medium attack, injuring the Sightmaster Sergeant once more, who is defending. The enemy's stamina is at the top. If this reaches 0, you have won the fight. My next attack will be weak, he declares. You'll be able to overpower me by playing a stronger attack, but make sure your attack is stronger. Okay. All or nothing. You play a strong attack, wounding the Sightmaster Sergeant again. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. No stamina lost. Flawless fighting. Yippee! Good, good, the sergeant says with a smile. Excellent. Another round? I think we're good. I've got the confidence. I'm not gonna die to a poor little goblin, within the first 5 minutes of this playthrough. Enough training. You shake your head. Very good. The sergeant agrees. But if you wish a bout in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates the wider yard where there is space for a true match. I'm curious. I'm actually curious. Okay. You head over to the yard to practice a bout of real fighting. The sergeant removes the cloth padding from the base of his staff. I unsheath my sword. This time, I will not tell you my intentions, he says. You will have to read them yourself. Be ready. I'm defending. The Sightmaster smiles at you, raises his staff in salute, and takes his position. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The Sightmaster is not to be trifled with. The sergeant covers himself as well. You see his grip change on the heel of his staff as he readies himself to strike again. You hold firm and keep your defense as he tries a deep bash, but you duck. Fast work. Wait, hold on. Fast work, he grunts. You escape mostly uninjured. His eyes follow your shoulders. He is probably about to defend himself. You realize a strong hit would be wasted now. Time to attack. You sting him with your blade, low and fast, saving your energy. I'll wear you out, you declare. I'll wear you. Jesus Christ. I thought that was the Sightmaster. I'll wear you out, you declare. His own weapon is raised in defense. He grins. He is left breathless, but not seriously hurt. He alters his grip to hold his staff more loosely. He seems to be preparing a simple jab, a chance to overpower him, perhaps? Fuck yeah. Let's go in for a 5. Relentless, you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You swing your sword fast in towards his chest, but his move is fast and careful. He is able to parry the very worst of your strike. Defend from this one. Oh yeah, that's the vast majority of his shit gone. You drop yourself into a crouch as he tries a heavy wallop, but you dive to one side. You are largely unhurt. His guard is coming up, conserving his energy so that the next strike can be stronger. Acting quickly, you slash violently across his chest, but the impact clanks against his defending staff, and you lay only a minor wound. He shows his teeth. The Sightmaster shakes his head. Not bad, he grunts, clearly weakening. A thin, grim expression crosses his face. You whip out your defenses as he tries a roundhouse thump, but you catch it on the hilt of your sword. You escape mostly unharmed. He watches your footwork closely. You hear observers in the gathered crowd murmuring expectation. But do they expect a violent blow from him or from you? We're going balls to the wall. I don't even care. That's bad, that's bad, that's bad. Leaping into action, you rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the blow jumps back off his lifted staff, and you place only a small bruise. He grimaces with effort. His breath begins to heave. He is struggling to stay upright. Once more. Sideswipe! That's concerning. And the next moment, the Sightmaster Sergeant leaps to your left and attacks. Your own stroke is overpowered as he lands with a punishing force. You double over, almost vomiting. The impact of his hits hard and sends you tumbling across the dirt. From the sidelines, the people of the settlement watch with gathering despair. You notice his knuckles are whitening. You ready yourself to block, but you ready yourself to block as he tries a deep swing, but you duck. He feints left. I'm gonna defend again. Are you afraid of me? He goads. His light blow sails over your head. He loosens his staff grip. Go for a medium attack here. Yippee! Feinting left, you twist and lower your sword fast. It is enough to finish him. The Sightmaster throws down his staff. You have me, he declares with a grin. 8 stamina lost. Shameful. I want to do this again. I want to try to get this perfect. Just because it's fun. Okay. We already fucked up. God damn it. Okay. Wait, what did I do? Am I... Okay. He's probably about to defend himself. You realize a strong hit would be wasteful, now defend. Boom. Okay. You drop yourself into a crouch as he hangs back and watches you in return. His guard is up, conserving his energy so his next strike can be stronger. Balls to the wall. Uh-oh. Time to attack. You rush forward with a heavy, deep slash. But the impact clanks against his defending staff and you lay only a minor wound. He smiles. You see his arm grow tense as he is readying for a strong attack. Defend. You whip up your defenses as he powers forward with a cry. It only tires him out. You escape mostly uninjured, his eyes narrow in preparation for a great effort. 6.4. I'm thrusting forward. Ooh, 3 on him. Acting quick, you sweep your sword across his body with a powerful force, catching him with his arms raised, like he were an infant leaning in for Jesus Christ. Like he was an infant learning to fight for the first time. The sight master shakes his head. Not bad, he grunts, clearly weakening. He shifts his grip to hold the staff more loosely. He seems to be preparing a simple jab, a chance to overpower him, perhaps. Nah. A simple jab? He's got 5 left, so no, we're not doing that. You ready yourself to block. His light blow sails over your head. You are largely unhurt. He feints left. Feints left. Defend again. You hold firm and keep your defense. His attack whizzes past you on your left side. You escape mostly unharmed. Do a jab here. 2. Leaping into action, you sting him with your blade, low and fast, saving your energy. I'll wear you out, you declare. It is enough to finish him. The Sightmaster throws down his staff. You have me, and he declares with a grin. 5 stamina lost, rough going. Once more, I want to see if I can only lose like 2 stamina. Okay. You see his grip change on the heel of his staff as he readies himself to strike again. I'm going full. I don't even care. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, overwhelming his own staff swing. You catch him deep in the side. His tunic reddens. You see his arm grow tense. He is readying for a strong attack. He's only got 3 stamina. We go again. Wait. Uh-oh. Okay, all right. In the next moment, the Sightmaster Sergeant is a blur of action. Your own stroke is overpowered as his strike lands. Defend. You drop yourself into a crouch. His light blow sails over your head. You are largely unhurt. He changes his grip and holds his staff more loosely. He seems to be preparing a simple jab, a chance to overpower him, perhaps. Acting quickly, you swing your sword fast, in towards his chest, but his own move is fast and careful. He is able to parry the very worst of the strike. His breath begins to heave. He's struggling to stay upright. Again. How's this one war? I'm being more ballsy with this one. Then the Sightmaster Sergeant is charging for you. Your attempt to fight is knocked aside. His own blow is of medium force, but is enough to knock you reeling. The impact catches you on the side. A mutter goes through the crowd. The king is truly weak to send such a champion. Their words spur on to stand once more and narrow. To stand once more and narrow your eyes at the Sightmaster. He feints left. Defend. You whip up your defenses. His attack whizzes past you on your left side. You escape mostly unharmed. Okay. I know I said one more time, but one more time. Okay. I'm going to go middle of the road here. 4.8. You bitch. Oh my god. 0.1 above me. The Sightmaster bows to you, raising his staff in salute, and takes his position. Oh my god. Okay, all right. It's kind of like repeating the same thing, so I'm going to stop kind of narrating here. Go a little bit more goofy. Ooh. Okay. I mean, it's 15. It's 15. We're kind of back where we were. The sergeant is gasping for breath. He bows to you once more. Not bad, he declares, but you need to cover yourself. But you need to cover yourself more. The beasts of the kingdom will take you apart. As he talks, a nearby healer hurries over with salve, and your health and the sergeant's is quickly restored. Approach the gate. You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you. But you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the Dop spell to be crafted. And he stands back. Cast a spell! D O P. Cast. You weave the spell. One by one, the great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. Then the hinges turn. With a noise like a hail on a canvas roof. Jesus Christ. Then the hinges turn with a noise like hail on a canvas roof. These gates have not been opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. I fear he is dead. The Sightmaster nods, peering at something on the horizon. I believe he is returning, but transformed. I hope you do not meet the same fate. He stands back from you. On we go. Oh. Together, you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can. We will be watching. Watching from where, bro? From here. The Sightmaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see. Tell me what lies ahead. This path leads to the Cantopani, a settlement of traders, though most are rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lead on to the Cristatanti. From there, 3 routes lead on to the Cristatanti, but no single route is safe. The Kakabad is a land of devils. And beyond the care? I cannot see so far, he says, but once you have crossed the city of traps, you will enter the backlands. They say that day and night there are controlled by forces other than the sun, and from care to your progress will be watched. It is time to go. Striding away, you pass the gate. The faces of the folk watch your departure. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. Into the Kakabad. Let's go, dude. The path winds through slopes of wild scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of the occasional crow. There is a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air as they examine you as I need a drink. Where did I put my limeade, homie? Oh, baby, there it is. There's a spell for hearing what they has. Ugh. Sorry, that limeade's good. There's a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass. They make you uneasy, as if you were an intruder in their presence. Keep walking. Barely an hour beyond the wall, the air begins to grow foul. The Shamutanti hills are infested with the pestilence of the backlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feel nauseous and weak. Cover my mouth. You cover your mouth with your neck scarf, but it does no good. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it the longer you're out here, but for the moment, you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina just decreased. You can see your stamina on the top left screen. If it reaches 0, you'll be too tired to carry on. Stamina can be regained up to the maximum by eating rations or resting. Okay, let's see here. Oh, where do we want to go? That's a big-ass wall, too. Wait. Oh my god, the little dolphins. Yippee. Oh, the snake. Okay. Cantopani. We can either... traveling cross-country might be kind of fun. Because where do we have to make it? We have to make it to Care. I think. I don't want to, miss content. But I also want to, get them moving, you know? Oh. Hold on. Let's travel cross-country. The path through Cantopani is long and winding, and you will lose a day. Instead, you turn off the path and strike north, through the knee-high grass. The journey starts with a stiff climb that takes several hours. But from the top, you have a good view of the plains of yellow grass, and just to the north of that, a little village of rude huts that do not look like human dwellings. To your left, the gigantic wall looms, throwing shadows that lap at your feet. Look back at the wall. Casting a glance up at its height, you see a familiar figure with his arms raised. He can see you, of course, and he is standing on the battlement so he can watch your progress. Time to strike on, then. The wind whimpers through the long grass, beckoning you onward. but there might be rats or worse in those fields, so you might be safer cutting across the river and following the bank. Huh. Ooh, which do we do? The longer grass seems like a blast, actually. Let's go here. You wade forward through the shimmering grass, which gets longer and longer, until first your boots, then your scabbard are lost from your view. Still, the Cantopani are still with the Cantopani disappearing over the brow of the hill, you are making excellent time. Suddenly, you freeze. Up ahead, the grass is parting in coils and bends. The parting is moving. There is something there, and it's coming towards you. Stand my ground. Whatever it is, it will find you ready. You wait as the switch blading furrow moves closer. I'm going to cast a spell. I'm going to cast Sus. Among Us. Okay. Requires 1 stamina, don't care. You cast the spell and feel a clear sense of threat take root in your soul. The approaching shape, says an inner voice, is a vicious serpent. The moving grass is barely 3 strides from you now. The hissing of the grass grows louder. Almost too loud. Draw my sword and ready. You draw your sword, your heart is stammering in your chest. Then, the break in the grass is upon you, and sure enough, a serpent rises from the grass. Its body, the thickness of 2 broad men, and its eyes red like stovepots lit with an inner fire. The serpent rears up out of the grass and bares its enormous fangs. We fight then. You are ready with sword in hand to take it on. Defend. The serpent's great coils are winding at your feet. In a moment they will tighten and snap your ankles. You drop into a defensive crouch, stepping back as it rears back out of reach. Hit it with like a 5. Yippee! You wait as the serpent shifts, exposing its belly. Then you attack. Launching off your heels, you lunge for the beast's neck. It slips away from beneath your blade. Its head tumbles backwards into the grass. Okay, we defend here. You drop into a crouch. The serpent screams through the grass, but you repel it with your blade. You escape mostly unscathed. Full yaya. An opening appears. You cleave the air with your sword. With a great cloud of dust, the head of the serpent clashes to the ground. And the light in its eyes go forever dark. 1 stamina lost. Skilled swordsplay. Continue. The serpent lies dead before you. Let's search this bozo. There's only one way to search the body. With your sword, you split it open, cutting through its long stomach. It's filthy work, but not unrewarding. From the belly of the beast falls an arm bone with a skeletal hand attached. In the grip of the hand is a small bag of coins. Free money! Yippee! You lift the gold from your palm, then snatch your hand back quickly. You've been burned by the stomach acid that has soaked through the leather bag. Take the coins, not the bag. More carefully this time, you knock the coins free from the bag with the tip of your sword, sparing a little of your water so you can wash them clean, then slip the coins into your purse. And that is long enough pause. You leave the serpent for the crows and make your way forward through the lengthening grass, wiping your sword as you go. You head onwards into the long grass, which gets taller and taller. The ground seems to slip away, but the plants are just as tall. Soon you can no longer see the wall above the nodding stems. A few paces later, you cannot see the way ahead at all. Let's keep onwards. There's no point in turning back. Grass cannot hurt you. You push onwards, but which way? We can use shadows as a compass, probably. But surely you can use the shadows of the grass blades as a compass. Looking through the grass, where it seems lightest, you head the other way, hoping to keep moving northward. The ground below rises and falls, as if you walked over low foothills, but there is nothing to see. Keep walking. You walk for an hour more, following the darkest area of the grass that you can find. Then, suddenly, you come across a flattened path through the grass stems. Someone else has walked this way. Huh. Interesting. Let's follow the path. You stick to the path, hoping it will lead you out of this meadow. You have been in it for a long time. You walk an hour more with rising spirits as you... Stumbling over my words. I don't really talk this much, this often. So this is a new change. You walk an hour more with rising spirits as you see the path becoming more and more well established. You must be getting close to a village now. Keep going. You walk an hour more and the path starts to show footprints. 6 or 7 men have gone this way before. 6 or 7 men all marching to a similar stride, wearing boots of similar size. Oh no. You have been walking around in circles, following your own path, and now evening has drawn in and you are exhausted. You are still lost in the grasses. You must get out of here quickly. Cast a spell. We might not actually cast. Let's look at the spell book here. What do we have? Zed. Effects are unknown. Okay. Zap, Foff, Law, Dumb, Hot, and Wall. I could make myself big. To try to see further? Is it worth the stamina, though? Especially since we need to get the hell out of here. Okay. let's follow the level ground. Sticking to level ground, you make your way slowly around the edge of the hill, hoping to come out somewhere close to the river where the grass was not so long. You make slow but steady progress until finally, after what seems like many hours, you emerge onto a path. Back on the path. Okay. Night has fallen. It's too dark to make out much beyond the sparkle of the river and the glittering of what looks like a bonfire up ahead. Surely these people are nice. Surely. I'd like to think so. Let's approach the bonfire. Striding forward, you approach the bonfire, passing low huts on either side. Whatever this place, it is as silent as a graveyard, and cold and lonely but for the brazier at its center. You go over to the bonfire, enjoying the warmth, but as you get closer, you begin to feel terribly tired. There's no time to eat or to even lay out your pillow roll. Before you have fallen dizzily to the ground. I should not be like doing this when I'm goofy tired, but you know, it is what it is. You wake groggily. Where are you? How did you get here? Slowly, the memory returns. You get to your feet. You were surrounded by huts, but the village appears deserted. Still halfway between sleeping and waking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the camel, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed. But it is still walking beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death. But the spirits are not generous. They decline to help often. You can ask for the spirit's aid by using the pray button. Let's call out. You call out loudly. Hello? Is anybody there? Nothing stirs. The fire crackles and licks at its logs, emitting plenty of smoke. But the smoke means the logs are still wet, even. Let's look into the fire. You go over to the brazier, but it seems quite ordinary. Then you notice it burns with a gentle blue flame. A moment later, you are feeling dizzy. The fumes from the fire are overpowering you. You fight to keep consciousness, but without success. Everything goes black. Captured! You are tied up on the floor of a hut, and you are not alone. Nearby, you hear the scuffle of many feet. Look around. You open your eyes, taking care to lie still. You see your belongings lying a short distance away in the dirt. Around you patter tiny feet. A few more feet hover a few inches in the air above the ground. Wait. The guard, noticing you are awake, leans out of the doorway and calls sharply. Soon, a small crowd has gathered around you. Look at these little gnomes. One of the group, some kind of leader, steps forward. Traveler, he declares, let me introduce myself. I am the chief of our little tribe. We are Elven. He performs a mocking bow. We are creatures of pleasure and enjoyment. It is such a great pleasure to have you, a visitor in our poor little hamlet. So, I ask now, how will you entertain us here? I will show you magic. The chief claps his hands with glee, and so do the others in the crowd. Excellent. Let's check out the spell book real quick. It'd be funny if I just adapt one of them. Like, that would be... you know? Like... I'd be so fucked, though. I'm curious. A lot of these require too many wigs. Or too many, like, items, I guess. I was reading one of them, and one of them requires a green wig. Do we just say fuck it and use Zed? Like, I'm really curious, actually. Right to the camel. Not yet. Actually, not yet, not yet. Perform a spell. I will show you a spell. The Elven Chief nods. Okay. Let's do 6 if we can. Because they would love that shit. Cast a spell. We're gonna try 6. I feel like these guys, I'm getting strong whimsical elven energy vibes, okay? I'm getting strong guardian of the forest, I'ma dance on top of tree stumps vibes from these guys. You attempt to weave a spell, but although you summon the energies with your hands bound, you cannot draw the spell together, leaving you racked and aching. The crowd watch with curious contempt. You are indeed entertaining, declares the elven chief with a clap of his hands. He turns a wheel in the air. How delightful. With a gesture to his fellows, 3 more approach. You ready yourself for blows, but instead, they are opening your pack. The elven root through your things with brutal efficiency, taking whatever they fancy and tossing the rest back at you. Then they pick you up, carrying you out of the village, leaving you in a pile on the side of the path like a sack of waste. Let's see what they took. You try to stand, but your legs are still tied. You topple to your knees. The elven, turning at the sound, laugh loudly, almost as an afterthought. One returns with a barred knife. For a moment he holds it near your throat, then slices the bonds around your arms. Then he turns and runs off into the trees. They straight up robbed me, bro. You stand up slowly, battered and bruised. You rub the blood back from your wrists. Then, finally, you look through your pack. Your provisions have been taken. All your gold is gone. Still, there are small mercies. You have your neck, shouldering your pack. You stand, or you start to walk once more. Damn, dude. Fuck. I kind of didn't look into the possibility of reverting. Like, okay, how can we go back? No, we can't, I don't think. Damn. So we can't revert or anything. So we might be hard fucked right now, actually. Trying to like hey Google. I'm looking it up right now. Okay, so there's very little opportunity for save scumming, which is honestly how it should be. Damn, so homie learns how bad the Analand is. Praying for healing. Okay, thank you, Camel. Oh my god, the spirit has heard you. You will receive no further help for some time. You are on your own. Damn. Wait, oh. I can revert. I can revert. Do you wish to rewind the story at your current... Yes. You're tied up. You're not alone. Listen. Keeping your eyes closed, you listen carefully. Tiny chittering voices, but definitely not human. It is as though animals could speak. What are these creatures? Sit up. You sit up trying to rub your head, but of course you can't. Your hands are tightly bound. Seeing you stir, a creature by the door jumps to his feet, then jumps above its feet and hovers into the air, watching you. Immediately threaten him. Wait to see what they do. The guard, noticing you are awake, leans out the doorway and calls sharply. Soon a small crowd has gathered around you. One of the group, some kind of leader, steps forward. "Traveler," he declares, "we are creatures of pleasure and enjoyment. It is such a great pleasure to have a visitor in our poor hamlet. So I ask you now, how will you entertain us?" I will show you magic. Excellent. Ask them to untie my hands first. Very good, but I cannot weave a spell with my hands tied. The elven considers this for a moment and quickly decides. One approaches you with a knife and holds it close to your face for a few seconds, then laughs, rolls you over roughly, and cuts the rope around your wrists. "Now," declares the chief, "entertain us." Perform a spell. Cast a spell. Let's try 6 again. S. I. X. Clone the caster. You raise the spell not on yourself. You raise the spell not on yourself, but over the elven chief himself. The others gather in the crowd and stand agog as he suddenly splits and duplicates into 6 copies. The elder laughs, in fact, all 6 do together, and arrange the straight Jesus Christ. And the sight is strange and exciting. Soon all the elven are laughing, and the leader and his replicas hold out their hands to shake with their comrades. 5 elven gasp at thin air. After a few minutes, the spell wears off. An excellent performance, the chief declares. Thank you. You nod your head, but we have kept you from the road. The chief waves for his strife people to clear a route to the door, and the little creatures cheer up. You gather your belongings, and they set you on the path out of the village. See, okay, I told you there were strong whimsical vibes, right? I just didn't know that I couldn't do spells with my hands bound, I'm thinking like it's just a verbal. Not like a... Not another thing. All right. Pray for healing. Thank you, Camel. Much appreciated. Let's get out of here. Waving back to the elven as you walk, you reach the river once more. But now the path goes across it. Beyond, you can see a long, wide track with trees lining the left-hand edge and a wide field of long grass on the right. In the far distance, a curl of smoke indicates a village. The evening is beginning to draw in. It would be good to reach town before the light is gone. Test the bridge. Before crossing, you make sure to test the guy ropes of the bridge to ensure it is sound. It seems safe enough. Satisfied, you make your way across the boards. In the middle of the bridge, a man stops you. Halt, he declares. This is my bridge, and to cross, you must pay the toll. Let me give this guy a voice, because he's going to be goofy. Halt, he declares. This is my bridge, and to cross, you must pay the toll. For what? You look over at the aged guy ropes and warped boards. What is there to pay for? Do you think these bridges built themselves? Do you think it's easy living out here, an outcast from the Tanti, trying to feed my children, with barely anyone taking these paths anyway? The man is nothing but a beggar. The toll is just 1 gold piece, he says. It's very reasonable. Did I just lie to this man? See, I don't want to be out here creating enemies. But also, gold kind of rare. And I'm probably going to need to buy shit eventually. I have no gold. He he pulls a face and stands up straight. Oh, you don't. Oh well, never mind then. Have a good day, stranger. With that, he strides away, whistling. You head off down the bridge and back on the path, none the wiser. You have a long way to travel today. Man's just okay with that fact. Okay. You just lie to the bozo. That's really funny. Worth a shot. The path continues along the side of a line of trees. Suddenly, an acorn lands on your head, and you hear a tittering from overhead. The cougar grant you strength, more elven, in the trees, hurling acorns. Cast a spell. They like to be entertained. And I will provide What does create a force field? Requires 3 stamina. Fog. That requires something else. So let's... What does walk do? Create a shield. That's just gonna piss him off. Like, ignoring them is gonna piss them off. I'm just smite them. That'd be really funny, actually. Oh, it's okay. It's only zap, but do I have like a zill? Teleportation. That's okay. I'm gonna walk on by. We'll see what happens. You are pelted by more and more acorns, as well as some sticks and branches. You break into a run. Soon you are out of reach of the annoying creatures. Alright, I mean... Hey, yo. Suddenly... Let me take a drink. The sun is now just past its zenith, and everywhere the dusty heat rises from baked earth. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night sleeping out in the open would be best avoided, but then you see a small village set into a hill. Look at it. Smoke rises from the stacks. The houses are well set, with stone at their bases and thatched roofs of grasses and thick leaves. There is usually more than one street running through the center of a town, but it is as though this place, once rich, had its heart scooped away. Litter surrounds the buildings, and on the edge of the village are rows and rows of empty, abandoned houses. You continue to slow your trudge along the path. The Cristatanti. Cristatanti. Huh. A village might have some interesting stuff go. Yeah, because I don't want to be dealing with elvish goobers. I'm just going to enter the village. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. Look at the people. Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town, here on the knife edge of the backlands. I got talk in an ale house, but I fear they might spike my drink. I can rest at an inn. You stop a passerby and ask for an inn, and they lead you there directly. The woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. "Are you from the king?" she demands. "No, am a mere traveler." The woman narrows her eyes at you. "This is a guest house, the best in Cristatanti. Only guests stay, and any guests of mine knows it will cost me 3 gold pieces to host a man overnight and 2 to feed him. But it's all between friends." I'll take a room. The woman shows you upstairs to a room. There are 3 other guests already staying, and asleep, you settle quickly. The bed is not clean, but it is comfortable. And after the long day and all its narrow escapes, you are grateful beyond measure for the rest. I'm going to save what I have. Your last thoughts are of food. You've not eaten today. But you cannot march forever on an empty stomach, or you will achieve nothing but feeding the wolves. Sleep. Your dreams are vivid once again. You feel yourself tied up, surrounded by snickering faces, thin creatures with long fingers picking at your pockets and the stitching of your clothing. You feel magic boiling up inside of you, but it cannot be released. Meanwhile, the food in your bag is rotting, wet through the sweat of your back. And in the distance, a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and with the other he beckons you forward, as if into a trap. Okay. You wake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry to leave the village. It is now the 3rd day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then hurriedly collect your possessions and set off on the path. Kristatanti is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. You follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops. You come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left leads directly into the deep woodlands. Huh. Oh, I didn't even see the Shankter mines. That might have been like kind of cool to go into. Okay. I'm going to try to start hitting up more of these like goofy ahas. Because they seem like fun. I kind of want to go in between the buildings. You glimpse a few people at work by the buildings. There will be precious little company on your journey, so you should take it while you can. You approach a low wall and see a blind beggar sheltering in the shade with a hand held out, stretched. He hears you approach and clicks his fingers. Alms, would you? For the love of Sindla, alms. I'll give him a coin. You place a coin in his outstretched hand. You are kind, traveler, the beggar says. He feels the surface of the coin, then bites down on it. Why me? This is a gold piece. You are too generous for a poor, sightless beggar. You'll get me killed if anyone knows I have it. The beggar beams up at you. Look after yourself. You say, preparing to walk away. Wait, he calls out. 1 moment, please. I should be giving this man like an old man voice. Wait, he calls out. 1 moment, please. He begins to scrabble around, feeling over his body as if looking for holes. Eventually he cries, Aha! He pulls out a copper key, which he holds out to you. What's that? Years ago, I lived in Care, he explained. Wait, hold on, I'm giving him the wrong voice. Years ago, I lived in Care, he explains. Care was my home and the city port I watched over, prisoners in the gaol. Beware the red eyes in Care, or my fate will befall you, and you'll be here with me, begging for your living. Okay, beware the red eyes. What's the key? Listen to me. Care is wary of strangers, but this key will help you if you're captured by the red eyes. Trust old me. As the man talks, you step quickly out of the road. An ox cart whips past you, raising dust. It does not stop. I'll take the key. You take the key and put it safely in your pack. Thank you, you say, then move on. You follow the path from the village for half the morning. The walk is easy. It feels as natural as breathing to have the road move beneath your feet. Not between. It feels as natural as breathing to have the road move beneath your feet. Hard to believe you've trained for this journey so long. Now you are on it. You climb a little, tracing the side of a group of trees until you meet a fork in the road. You could continue straight on and upwards or turn west a while. Okay, care. Don't get caught by the red eyes. I do want to see what's in these this like abandoned area or these ruins. You continue on the path, climbing. Your legs feel strong and lean. By the end of the journey, you will be built like a mountain goat. The afternoon progresses, long and easy. This place you are walking through seems thick with desolation, as if it was long ago abandoned. And then, as if to confirm your thought, you come across two enormous stone pillars, listing slightly either side of the road. They form a gate, but the gate is 3 times the height of a man. I'll look them over. Peering closely, you make out the faded remains of carved characters. In the old script, L and K, the remnant of a spell of fortune, perhaps, or binding for these new fallen stones. Surely somewhere in here there's an L and K. This must be like a spell I haven't learned yet or something. Huh, okay. What could it be? Lock? L-O-K? L-U-K? Luck? Let's go through it. There's nothing for it but to go forwards. Through the gate. You step into the shadow of the enormous gate. The ruins of the walls line the path either side. But these are walls built from blocks the size of ox carts. Centuries ago, it must have been a place of kings 12 feet tall. Now it has been leveled. and the stones stolen from the field walls are foundations of the villages all around. Let's investigate the ruins. You take a moment to clamber out over the ruins and off the path until you are surrounded by waist-high grasses. The ground rises and falls sharply around the outlines of the houses and buildings. You trace the line of a street, wide enough to run 3 carts abreast. That leads quickly downhill towards a forest. Once this place was rich and plentiful. What happened here to remove every last trace of these colossal people? Look inside the house. You stop by the edge of a house. The side wall only stands as high as your knees. Grass nods above it. Looking inside, you make out the edges of a fireplace, the back wall, and the adjoining area. Perhaps a grain store or a bedroom. Let's search in the grass. You take a few moments to search through the long grasses and find nothing until your hand closes on a clay pot near a wall. It's the shape of a wine jug, but about 3 times the usual size. Around the neck is a red stain. Wine. Or maybe blood. It's impossible to tell. The base of the pot has been smashed away, perhaps by age, perhaps by someone unhappy with its contents. You leave the pot behind. I'm going to follow the street down. You follow the line of the street down the slope of the hill. The further you go from the path, the more overgrown the ruins become, until you can barely make out their outlines at all. After a while, you are not following the street at all, but simply holding to the same line. You approach the edge of a thick woodland. I want to see what these corresponding pillars say to see if I can find a new spell from it or something. The path crosses over a low, broken wall, then rises sharply up against a hill through a pass. After a while, you see 2 cave mouths, one on the left side of the path, the other to the right. Let's see. Look at the right hand. See, I wonder if the right hand cave would like spit me out anywhere and where that might be. I feel like the right hand cave might spit me out like here or something. By Britanti? Is that what that is? Biritanti? I don't know. So I'm going to go with Biritanti. Why is there a fucking crater right here? Oh my god. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let me go. Right hand it is. You pause at the mouth of the first cave and look inside. There's a faint whistling sound. The wind, perhaps? Ooh, that means it might indeed go through all the way. I'm going to investigate the other cave. Sounds risky. You creep out intending to try the other cave. The left-hand cave is a little wider at its mouth, but it is also not as deep and appears to be empty. Rubble covers the floor along with a few items that suggest someone lived here. A huge broken stool, a net with a wide mesh, and a large human-shaped skull the size of a dog. This place was clearly home to a giant. I'm going to investigate what's in here. Still, by the look of the skull, it seems that the giant is long gone, so it should be safe to look around. Let's look at the net. You pick up the net. The squares are so large that a rabbit or deer would be able to run straight through, but they're small enough that if they could catch an animal, about your size. Of course, you'd cut your way out of such a trap in a moment. Fuck it, we ball take the net. You roll up the net and put it in your pack. Just look at the skull. Next, you turn your attention to the giant's skull. There's no trace of flesh remaining on the bone, and the eye sockets are dull and empty. No one has lived here for a long time. The top of the skull has been knocked about a bit. There's a crack at the top and most of the teeth are missing. Let's examine the teeth. There are only 2 teeth left in the jaw. Pry those teeth loose. Use the tip of your sword to pry a couple of the giant's teeth free, and you slip them into your pack. Let's look at the stool. Finally, you look at the stool. It's made of the lower branches of an ash tree, braced together with joint pins the size of your forearm. And before the stool broke, it could probably have borne the weight of several cattle. But it's broken now and of no use to you. There's no way you could carry it that far. Yeah, leave it here. You put the stool down. Leave. You've seen enough. You turn to leave the cave, but then a shadow falls across the cave mouth. The shape resolves itself into a giant. It seems your looking around has awoken something. You are now trapped. Cast a spell. Oh, man. What does Yob do? I just... fight giant with a giant, I guess. Fuck. Let's see if this man is kind of peaceful. Oh, it's literally fight or cast a spell. Yob it is. You pull out a giant's tooth and throw it on the ground and cast your spell. A plume of smoke rises into the air as if the tooth has set alight, and then out of the smoke appears another giant. The two are close to each other, stammering each other with their clubs. Noise fills the valley, and a huge wave of dust are kicked up. So wait and see who wins. The fight is vicious, but ultimately the hill giant knocks the life out of your summoned creature, but not before your champion has done some damage. It will now be up to you to finish this giant off. With a roar that shakes the rock, the giant swings its club and comes for you, determined to crack open your bones. Bravely, you try a deep lunge for its heart. He raises his club defensively in time to stop your blow. The hill giant stumbles suddenly. He is weakening. Fuck it, we ball again. You strike again, readying a blow that could part stone. You hurl forwards. Then your sword slips between the giant's ribs as he falls, gasping his last in a noise like a gushing waterfall. No stamina lost, flawless fighting. Brilliant, thank you. Okay. I'm surprised I'm still awake. It's whole ass 11. The mountainside falls silent. Search the body. You quickly search the giant's body and find a pouch at his waist containing 8 gold pieces. It's hard to imagine the giant spending them. Perhaps he was not as dumb as he appeared, or perhaps he liked them because they were shiny, and nothing more. You like them too, so you take them. Examine the body. You step over the body. The giant is quite dead. His eyes stare open and his mouth is wide, mid-roar, showing his teeth. Do something about his mouth. Holy shit! Pry loose his teeth. With your sword, you pry loose a few of the giant's teeth. It's a bloody work, but you're able to take them with you. Time to move on. You hurry out of the shadow of the pass. Hell yeah. Can I go over here now? No. Okay. You crest the rise and continue down the slope of the other side. You pass through another gigantic gate into a barren mountainside. Okay, so deadass, just those gates. Okay. I thought the gates were going to have something, like, interesting. I suppose not. Like, maybe I could put together a spell by looking at the gates, but guess not. So sad. The path trips and slides down a steep, scree slope, and then emerges onto a sudden plain, as if the forest had been scooped away by a gigantic hand. The river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its banks stands a tiny village. We're kind of doing okay here. We just need to eat the ape. Pray for healing. Fuck it, we ball. Do we backtrack for the village? It might be good, but it might also not be. Ah, fuck it. Let's go. Let's talk to people. Today has been mercifully short and uneventful. You've made excellent progress. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously. So you begin the gentle climb down the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares to be Doompus. I'm going with Doompus. The streets are thin and narrow. The buildings have been set close together as if trying to withstand a storm. There's a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place. Talk to the villagers. You pass along the main path through the village and pause outside in a hut of which there are several hill dwellers sitting and eating. They seem deep in discussion about something. Several are shaking their fists in the air. Lifting back the canvas flap, you step inside. The hill dwellers stop talking immediately and look up at you. One gets to his feet and gestures forward. Bow my head. You nod your head to the man, who returns the gesture. Then one of the others calls something in their native tongue, points at your side, where your sword hangs out below the hem of your cloak. In broken common tongue, the first man croaks, "No weapons." He indicates a table by the door where you can leave your blade. Yeah, let's go. You unfasten your sword belt and you leave your weapon on the table. The hill dwellers nod to show their appreciation, then beckon you to sit with them. Then they continue their conversation just as animatedly as before, speaking in the local tongue you cannot follow, but as they talk, they pour you a drink and provide you with some food. They are quite welcoming. I'm going to listen to their talk. As you eat, you listen, catching a few words here and there. Goblins, arms, Christatanti. They seem to be very concerned. Tell them you've been there. I've been to Christatanti, you declare. The men nod, but do not seem surprised. Slowly you piece together the story. The group seem quite sure that a herd of goblins are planning an attack on Christatanti, which is apparently one of the wealthier spots in the hills. They are discussing whether or not it would be worth helping the village to defend itself, which might mean that they are offered some kind of reward. You must help them, you declare earnestly. Christitanti, it does not help us, one of the men points out. They are rich, we are poor. You will place them in your debt. The men nod, swayed by your ruthless logic. And you? How do you fight? One man asks you. I will help those who need it. The men nod. Let the goblins attack tonight, they cheer. We will use your strength. What did I just talk these men into doing? Hold on. Did I just accidentally sign up to be a mercenary? Oh, ape, save me. We're reverting. Something's bad. Okay. Step over. I'll bow my head. Okay. Look over the table. There are plenty of other weapons too, so the men appear to be honest. Remove my sword. You unfasten your sword belt and leave it on the table. The hill dwellers nod to show their appreciation. Yada, yada, yada. We've been through this. Ask what they are discussing. I see. Christitanti arming the goblins. Ask about the goblins. What are the goblins doing? Are they being armed by the villagers? The men shake their head. Slowly you piece together the story. The group seem quite sure the horde of goblins are planning an attack on Christitanti, which is apparently one of the wealthier spots in the hills. They're discussing whether or not it would be worth helping the village to defend itself, which might mean they are offered some kind of reward. Wait a while, then decide later. They frown at you. What good does waiting do? Perhaps the people of Christitanti will win out. Then you will risk nothing. How do you fight? I serve myself. So you do not understand what we might lose. The evening draws to a close. The men thank you for your counsel and leave one by one. Explore the town. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchants' huts. You browse items worth buying with your 23 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. Examine the skull cap. Stolen from a priest of Dadulay. That's funny. Hold on. What requires the skull cap? Tell, which might be useful. I'll pay 4 gold pieces. I'll examine the sword. Carefully, you lift the long sword from the table and swing it in the air. It cuts with a finely carved edge. A fine piece of work. I'm sure you agree, the merchant enthuses. 6 gold pieces. We'll put it back. You return the merchant's swords. We still have enough provisions. That's enough. Is there any work to be had here? I need to earn some money. The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker. Well, hold on. What's a good hill merchant voice? You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he'll pay you and feed you for it. Digging what? The merchant shifts uncomfortably. Doesn't matter. You'll find out. So? He asks, looking over his shoulder to the path. I'm going that way myself. Are you coming? I'm going to find an inn. I'm not interested in this. You find an inn at the very center of Doompus. It's a tumble-down building with its masts spread across the floor and a kitchen range that fills the air with an appealing, spicy smell. The man who runs the inn is weary and looking as if is wiry, and looks as if he does not eat a thing himself. 3 gold pieces for hill fox broth, he tells you, and 3 pieces to rest your head. You've not eaten today, so you are not so hungry. Or you've eaten already today, so you're not so hungry. We'll rest. You pay 3 gold pieces, and the man shows you to a mattress in one corner of the room. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. It seems as though you wander through doors and hallways built 10, 20 times your height. You are an insect, and the hills over which you walk are the follicles of hair on the shaved chin of a giant. Storms of hot, fetid breath sweep. Storms of hot, fetid breath seem to sweep across you, threatening to blow you down into hell. Overhead, you fancy you hear the flap of giant wings. The birdmen came for the crown, perhaps. Before this journey is finished, they will come for you. Wahaha. We're getting the fuck out of Doompus. You rise early, dismiss the attentions of the innkeeper, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you are out of Doompus and back on the road. After another hour or so, the way branches, with one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill along one side of a barren, stony ridge. Is that a village you make out on the top of the hill? It seems a lonely place for it. I want to go to the mines. I'm being entirely honest. The mines seem like a blast. So we go to the mines. Wait, the bridge of Van Cass. What? Is that this? Because this is just kind of like a big question mark. Yeah, no. We're going to the mines. You follow a meandering path around the side of a hill for most of the morning. It's difficult to see the way ahead through the tree line, but you trust to the course, and eventually the path bursts out onto a narrow stone ledge high above the valley floor. The ledge leads left and right. There is no way forwards. Look right. Looking right, you are taken aback. Out of the mist that fills the valley, an impossibly wide bridge looms into view, as if it had now only fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes, and is suspended from this peak to the peak on the other side. Who could have built such a marvel? And how long ago? Look to the left. Looking to the left, you see that a narrow bridge is formed by splitting of the rock that leads all the way down to the misty floor. If there's a path up on the other side, it is not clear from here. I want to go into those mines. Look at the bridge. You take a moment more, staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly in the wandering wind. But the more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Could such a bridge possibly exist? Or is it a mere illusion to trick the incautious traveler? Let's move on. Getting to your feet once more, you take a moment to find your balance before moving on. One slip here and you will fall a long way down. Beep, 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 into the valley. The bridge seems untrustworthy. Should anything happen to you while you were halfway across it, there would be no escape, but the last, most fatal kind. Better to walk. You make your way across the stone ledge. The angle is steep, and it's hard going to not stumble. It's hard going not to stumble. At the valley floor is a dried-up river, covered in worn stones honed by water that is long gone. Small caves open in the rock face nearby, with rusted machinery abandoned outside. There was mining here once, but it must have been a long time ago. A wider track made for carts carrying ore leads up the far slope. And we investigate the mines. Oh, baby. I'm excited. You approach the mine entrance. A wet wind greets you from the depths. The mine shaft must lead somewhere, but there's pitch dark. There are no torches, and you do not have any light of your own. Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. You stride inside until the wet rock above you and the air falls suddenly cold and still. Your breath echoes. Tight, dark places are often fearsome, and through the rock walls here are carved with, and though the rock walls here were carved with axes, there is still something wild and harrowing about this place. Your feet crunch on the gravel floor. Surely we have... Hold on. Spellbook. Surely there's some type of, like, candle light from Skyrim spell or some shit. We don't have a sun jewel. That's what I was thinking of. Go further back. You go a little further into the darkness, feeling your way along the right wall. Then you hear something. A deep, resounding growl. The walls shake. There's the scrape of claws on stone and another noise. like fluttering, beating sails, as though a ship fought against a gale. Something is rushing towards you. You turn to run, but you cannot move your legs quickly enough. Sharp talons gash into your back, and you fall. Fuck, dude. Okay. Okay. We turn back. We do not have an opportunity to actually like investigate this, so sadly we'll take the L. Your breath is short and your heart is hammered as you pause halfway up the valley slope. A small wooden hut is opposite, set a little way back from the path. Look at the hut. You stop to watch the hut, dropping behind a bush out of sight as you do. After a few minutes, you see a troll emerge, ducking to get through the tiny frame of the building. He is clearly guarding something around here, perhaps a mine, or perhaps he was stationed here long ago to guard a city that is now crumbled to ruin. Wait to see what he does. The creature stands outside the hut for a few minutes, looking this way and that, his colossal head turning with the speed and dexterity of a mill wheel. Then he stomps away around the curve of the hill. You probably have a few minutes before he reappears. I want to go inside the hut. You seize the opportunity to race over to the hut to see what you can pilfer. Inside, you find that it is a barren shack. There is a low oak table in its center and no wood windows. There is no door. A pile of blankets in one corner is the only nicety. Search the blankets. You lift the corner of a blanket with the tip of your sword. Hidden away there, you find 3 gold pieces. Most likely, the troll's pay for the entire year. Take the money. You take it quickly and drop the blankets as you found them. The creature will be back any moment. You should go. Leave. You've been here long enough. Quickly, you turn around in a hurry. You see the troll returning from its patrol around the edge of the hill. It hasn't seen you. It's too stupid to notice anything might have moved or been left out of place. It moves to enter its hut. Slip away. With the troll out of sight, you hurry along the path, not pausing again until the hut is far out of sight. We just robbed that man. I feel kind of bad, but also money. Keep walking. Another hour passes as you finish the climb, with the sun starting to hang heavy in the sky. You reach the top and meeting with the other end of a rope bridge. Back at the bridge. It may look stable, but it is undoubtedly a death trap set to part travelers from their gold and from their lives. You continue down the slope as the evening draws in. Some way down the hill, you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies around. The path leads downward at its foot. Cradled between 3 peaks is a village, and quite a large one at that. Behind you, the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon. Approach the village. The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping. Freeze. You freeze. Hovering by your shoulders, a small creature the size of a bird. It's childlike, but very thin with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. It seems friendly enough. It even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Talk to it. Greetings, little creature. And hello to you, and hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is Jan. What are you? The creature does a backflip and gives a low, bow. I'm a mini-mite. Pleased to meet you. It reaches out a tiny hand and shakes your earlobe. What do you want with me? You see that village? The creature replies. Every time I tried to go through, I was told I wasn't welcome. So I wouldn't mind some protection. The creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles. Come on, it grumbles impatiently. Let's get going, can't we? Where I'm going is dangerous. You warn the creature. You might be killed traveling with me. The creature shrugs. I've got small wings. Can't get far on my own. What can you tell me about the village? Is it safe? That's Barrienti. It's very safe. It's the largest village in the whole of the Shamutanti Hills. Every traveler... why did I pick the most obnoxious voice ever? Every traveler who comes this way spends at least one night there, so it's a bit expensive, especially for mini-mites, but pleasant enough. The creature flits to your other shoulder once more. You're not in a hurry, are you? It observes. Do you want to sleep out in the rough? Fuck it, bro. Well, let's get going then. I can protect you. The creature squeezes your shoulder gently. It's like having a spider trying to burrow into your skin. Let's get going then. The creature shakes you by the ear in excitement, and you set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are towering tall and throw the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets come a distant sound of laughter and merriment. Enter the town. You continue along the path, and the sound of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here in the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dire road, the people in the village seem to be enjoying themselves. See, the mini-mite shoulder remarks, I told you it was a happy place. Jan, what's going on? Are they bewitched? Jan shakes his head. No, if there were magic, believe me, I'd know. This is the festival of the young. What's that? Well, take a look. Jan waves his little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year, the children are allowed freedom of the village. It's a time of great fun, lots of pranks. It comes quickly and obviously what he means. You pass the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the streets drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and is spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside in a hut that reads, Glandragor's Tavern. It is all complete mayhem. Do I rescue the old woman getting spanked? Because I feel like this is going to piss off the children. Fuck it, wee ball. You stride over to the young boy, intending to rescue the woman, but the sight of your manner and sword... What? You stride over to the boy, intending to rescue the woman, but at the sight of your manner and sword, the boy puts her down and gets to his feet. And what are you about? He demands. I'm the leader of this village for today, and I say, get to bed. Strike the child. Holy fuck. Or laugh at him. I'm going to laugh at him. You laugh at the boy. He is quite clearly enraged and lets up a hollering cry. Suddenly, there are 100 children around you, and not all beggars, but well-fed, armed with sticks and pitchforks. Jan is making a hissing noise in your ear. Better run for it. I can fight the children. What? Yo. Let's run. Swallowing your pride, you turn and race out of the village. The children follow, standing by the grates and wavering their impromptu weapons. Well, Jan sniffs, you're quite the warrior, aren't you? Bro, fuck off. We camp outside then. You make your way out of the village and into a stand of tall, dry trees, the overhang of one of the cruel mountainsides. Between curling roots, you find a small place to settle down to rest. Jan perches a little way above on a knot and is quickly asleep. You are tired enough to follow suit, but you are hungry from having not eaten. Eat something. You pull out a quantity of your cheese and bread and eat it quickly. The night's darkness draws in around you. In the distance, you hear screams and whoops from the village that only slowly fade. You feel lonely, distanced from such revelry. You rest your head onto your backpack and close your eyes. Perhaps a few hours pass when you are awakened suddenly, aware of a shadow moving between tree trunks. It turns and sniffs the air. A wolfhound. What spells we got? We could do Zap, Hot Foff. Let's zap the bozo. All right. Actually, we could cast a spell and just hit a sus. Like, my fear is this is someone's dog, but... Oh, we don't even have... Okay. We don't have any really good letters. Just make ourselves fucking massive, why not? You complete the spell, but nothing happens. The wolfhound charges at you. You draw the long metal flashing in the moonlight, and the beast roars and howls. Defend. The wolfhound creeps towards you, jaws dripping and fur shining wet. You raise your sword and defend yourself, fearing the monster will spring. It bounds forward. You are shaken but unharmed. It howls and whimpers. You stay poised and ready. The wolfhound circles you, snapping at the air. You put all your strength into a swing of your blade, hoping to finish the creature in one stroke. The wolfhound drops back. You twist your blade for a manic blow, but the wolfhound's tail turns. It is tensing, preparing to pounce, defend. The wolfhound goes for blood. You react on instinct, dodging around a tree for cover. Defend again. You're panting with exhaustion, but still hanging back. Afraid of the creature's snarling jaws and dripping fangs, the wolfhound holds back, pawing at the earth. It scrapes the ground as if digging its own grave. Hit with a 4. You turn your grip for a manic attack. The wolfhound runs quickly into the trees, but it has not gone for good. A moment later, it creeps back into view. It moans and howls. You put all your power into a sweep of your sword, but the wolfhound races away. As the wolfhound grows weaker, It snarls and gets madder. That was bad. You flick out your blade at the wolf, but the wolf is barreling forward with all hell's fury at its back. It sinks its teeth into your forearm. You bring your hand up to staunch your wound. The smell of blood is in the wolfhound's nostrils. It licks its lips with glee. Defend. The wolfhound snaps at you. You fling your sword up and knock the beast back. It scrapes at the earth. You try a swipe, the wolfhound drops low and the blade misses. The wolfhound is crawling now, its fur thick with dried blood. You put all your strength into a sweep of your blade and the blow connects. As the wolfhound weakly opens its jaws to bite, you plunge your blade between its teeth all the way down to its heart. The wolfhound growls, a gurgling, blood-soaked sound, and then it dies. Let's try again. I feel like we can do better. We just hadn't had done combat in a hot second. I wanted to fight the beastie in the caves, but we just didn't have a torch. You complete the spell, but nothing happens. I feel like this Fae is like sapping our energy or something. Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's really rough, actually. Oh! Oh, we're not doing well. We're not doing well at all. Surely we can beat him. We can best him. We are going to try again, though. That was pretty bad. That was worse than the first one. Hit him with a 4. Bruh. Okay. Yippee! Okay. The beast defeated, you pause to regain your breath and wipe your sword. Sleep. Then, once satisfied, you lay down again and try to sleep. John flutters down, resettles on your shoulder. Your dreams are filled with walking, with peaks and valleys and endless paths. A curious light plays around them, building walls to heights before ruining them as it moves away. The rest of the night passes silently. You rise early from your spot beneath the tree. As you gather your things, Jan leaps up and onto your shoulder. Ready to go? He chirps. You rejoin the path on the far side of Biritanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani today, the last village in the Shamutanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Ask Jan for his advice. Which way, Jan? To the right is a forest. To the left is easier going. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torpanti. What else do you know? He demands suspiciously. Nothing, protests the creature. And that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you anything for my advice, you know? You'll get no more from the creature. With Torpani so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely. It's a field of black flowers. This is the forest. I am intrigued by the field of black flowers. That seems like a terrible omen, right? But also this way does seem shorter. Hold on, let's look again. The left is easier going. The path leads through a field of black flowers to Torpante. I feel like this one's going to be like a nothing burger, right? There's nothing interesting there. Let's go right. We go right. Then be on your guard, Jan warns you. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge. You are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills where the trees are thin. The view west goes on forever. And sometimes you catch glimpses of Care on the northern horizon. When was the last time we ate? It's been a hot second, but we'll wait until the night. You decide not to eat. Best push on. Jan is in a talkative mood and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see, about how things smell, and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in Care. It's enough to make you wonder if you could sell him as a companion to a blind old lady somewhere. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, Jan falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop. Stop. Stop now. Why? Because, the creature insists in a tiny voice, because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You've seen me. I know it. I see nothing. Oh, wrong voice. I see nothing, you call back. You're quite safe. It is not I who is not safe, the voice returns. Who's there? There's no reply, but the tall figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you have not seen him a moment before, even though he has been standing a mere arm's length away. He wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands. Man's dripped out. Holy fuck. What do we have? Nothing fun there. Just fucking zap him. Why not? You cast a spell, but nothing results. I should probably tell you. Mennonites are protected by an aura. It's a curse sometimes. Like now, because you can't cast magic when I'm nearby, and I'm not leaving while that assassin is here. You bring your sword up to bear. I kind of suspected that. But so be it. Defend. The assassin nods at you, raised his curved sword in salute, then takes position. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The assassin is perhaps the most fearsome opponent you have faced so far, or you have so far encountered. He covers himself well. You hold a firm You hold firm and keep your defense, and he hangs back and watches you without emotion. Very interesting. You circle around him. At arm's length, he circles away. Defend. You pace around him carefully. He waits and watches you in return. Defend. You stay steady and keep up your defense, and he steps a little away. Defend. You move around him watchfully. He holds up and watches you without emotion. I'm gonna go all at it. Fuck it. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the impact clanks against his turned sword. He grins. He is left breathless but otherwise unharmed. Closing his eyes, the assassin murmurs a quick prayer as he sets his stance. Defend. You drop into a crouch. He powers forward, but it only tires him out. You are mostly unharmed. The assassin laughs appreciatively. Cut. Acting quickly, you swing a masterful swipe, but the blow jumps back off the hilt of his blade. He grimaces with effort. He is bruised, but not seriously hurt. Breathing deeply, the assassin whispers a mantra as he readies his blade. Defend. You whip up your defenses as he attempts a strong stroke. You parry as best you can. He nods to you wisely. Defend. You hold firm and keep your stance. He circles away. Do a quick jab. Leaping into action, you sting with your blade. Low and fast, saving your energy, but the impact clangs against his weapon. He smiles. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, the assassin tells you, in a voice as cold and polished as marble. You will not hold me from it. The trees watch as the battle unfolds. Relentlessly, you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You dive forward with a deep, heavy blow, outclassing his own sword swing. Blood drips from the assassin's tunic. He curses under his breath. Breathing sharply, the assassin mouths a quick prayer. Defend. You ready yourself to block as he lunges forward. But it only exhausts him. You are mostly unharmed. Attack. Feigning left, you sweep a masterful slash, but the blow jumps back off his raised weapon. He grins. The assassin's breath is coming in short gasps. He closes his eyes for a moment to steady himself. You will die out here, the assassin declares. His tone is like ice. Defend. You duck down into a low stance as he tries a deep slice, but you roll out of their way, mostly unhurt. He raises one hand to draw a finger in a line across his throat. Looney Tunes ass fucking assassin. Jesus Christ. I can guarantee you a simple death, the assassin says. His eyes are merciless. Boop. What a bozo. Time to attack. You charge forward with a deep, heavy swipe. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as not to admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you choose. But if you do me an honor. Use my own blade. Continue. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor, gasping. Let's spare him. Then get up, you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away. Yet. He nods and sheathes his own blade. You are an honorable man. I am glad to meet you. Now you have saved me. You own me in part. My name is Flanker, and I am an assassin and a thief. Why did you attack me? It's a simple matter. I pick on wayfarers for practice in hiding and killing. I assumed you would be no match, especially when I saw your pet. He points briefly at the Minimite, who is currently hiding under a fold in your tunic. But I see I was wrong. He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps in pain of his injuries. You're traveling to Care? He asks. Yes. I go that way as well. I will not travel with you. But once you are there, perhaps I will see you. If so, I will not forget the debt I owe you. I will remember you there. He bows his head again, this time definitely in pain. Go, he hisses. You cannot aid me. I'm still going to help him. No, you reply. I have caused your wounds. I will help you. He grins with gritted teeth. Are you a doctor? I do not think you are. Bind his wounds. Tearing off strips of dark fabric from his clothing, you bind his wounds tightly and the bleeding lessens. You are too kind a man. You are too kind to a man who is about to kill you, he murmurs. Let that be your lesson. Or let that be your lesson, you reply, as you gather up your things and head out of the forest, leaving him behind. You have made a sense that you have made a powerful friend. Continue. Leave the trees. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The Minimite on your shoulder asks. I'm hungry and tired, and we've gone such a long way. Not much further. The Minimite sighs and slumps on your shoulder. You continue along the path around the side of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting in the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get close, I cannot fucking speak. Holy shit. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house, and the house itself is set splayed on struts like an insect, straddling the coarse water. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. Let's greet the woman. Greetings, you call. The woman looks up to you and smiles. Come over here. Why am I giving her like the most British geezer voice ever? Come over here. Why don't you? She calls. I can barely see you. We're praying to the dolphin. You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from her step. Please come. Please come. Jesus Christ, what voice am I trying to do? Please come in. I get so lonely out here. Jesus Christ. I'm actually like, my voice is actually dying. We might end stream soon. It's been fucking 3 hours. What? Hasn't felt like it, man. I get so I get so lonely out here on my own, living away from the villages. I'm so fucking rumbly. We're just gonna roll with like some attempted old lady voice. Oh no, she's gonna eat me. She's gonna kill me and eat me. I don't trust this lady. Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ear. I don't trust this one. Make conversation. The tea is still hot. You cup it in your hands as you speak. This is a beautiful place, you remark, watching the river outside the door plunging away over the cliff face. This is the top of the waterfall, or the crystal waterfall, she says. The river runs right above my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck. She giggles meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. My voices just keep fucking changing, and it's mainly because I'm dying. We're going to finish this old lady encounter. I'm just going to carry it on with like the most low effort voice possible. Why do you live here alone? It must be more dangerous. Oh, she smiles sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they? You smile and nod. What's your name? They call me Gaza Moon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way. You nod, but you've never heard of her. You make a sip of your tea while the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches to your lips. Oh, she says suddenly. I've forgotten the pot. She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. Switch cups with her. While she's away from the table, you switch the 2 cups around. When she returns, you lift the closest to you and drink. Suddenly, a deep pain grips your stomach and you double over. What's happening? You wince and cough, and you find yourself seizing up. Oh, suspicious stranger, laughs the woman. I can count on travelers suspecting my witchcraft. Uh-oh. Please release me. Please release me. You try to shout out, but you are paralyzed and quite powerless. The old woman begins to search through your bag. Jan flits around in some distress, unsure what to do. She removes the giant's teeth, the cloth skull cap, and stashes what she has stolen into a drawer. Then she flicks a finger, and you find yourself elsewhere. Where? Wherever you are, Jan is still with you, fluttering around your head. You bat him away. You cannot move. Or you can move. Getting to your feet, you find yourself on the path in the sight of Torapani. I want to rewind that. I'm going to keep to 3 rewinds per stream. This is my last one. Go inside. Make conversation. Name. Why alone? Beautiful place. Drink the tea. She sputters to the ground, coughs, and grips her side. Wait. You sit back to watch and see what happens. She's trying to smile, but the pain is clearly quite severe. Stumbling and almost flailing, she staggers to the kitchen and gulps down another drink, where she seems to be much better. I'm not as young as I was, she explains. All the same, she pushes her tea to one side. But tell me about you. You're a traveler? Yes. That's right. I'm going to care. She claps her hands. How wonderful. Such a delightful city. Indeed. Tell me, on your journey, did you happen to come across an... You didn't happen to come across an old man, did you? I've met a lot of people. Of course, she answers, but this one was special. Very old. Carrying a page from a spell book. Shake your head. No, I met no one like that. Really? That's a pity. She seems to think for a moment, then adds, do you have anything magical? Or anything of a magical nature? Say yes. A few things, but no spellbook pages? Ask about the pages she wants. What pages are you looking for? Oh, she shrugs, suddenly seeming very old. It's part of a spell of pest repulsion I had once, but I lost it. It was quite useful around here. She waves you away without interest. Go on, go away. You step back onto the path. Jan lets out a long sigh of relief. You know, she was one of the most powerful sorceresses in the hills, he whispers. I could smell it on her. You're lucky you got away alive. You shrug. A harmless old lady, or so she seemed. It's late afternoon now. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is the village of Torapani, slung from one side of the valley to the next like a flood barrier. Let's observe it, and then we'll end, and I'll go to sleep. It's now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below... Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm reading the above thing. Torapani is a village of Savin, an aggressive-looking race of man-orcs. You might expect their village to be rowdy, but it seems strangely quiet. Let's go into town. It seems there's no way around it. It's too large to destroy with a fireball. You will have to go through. Continue. Okay. We're saving here. I think it just saves automatically, I'd like to think. Because we're sure as fuck not doing this in one sitting. It's already been 3 hours. And I realize the game probably ends once you get to care. Or at least do some shit in care. But I have chronic tired syndrome. So I will sleep. Sadly. Hopefully I'll do another one of these tomorrow. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I suppose. Either way. I'll catch you later, goofballs. Good night.